Salute YouTube. Welcome to the Rod of God podcast. This is a special edition. Just kind of, I may put this in the Pardon the Interruption playlist because we have the Gospel of John coming up. And it occurred to me I needed to kind of lay a foundation before we get into the Gospels. There is so much bullshit out there about Jesus. And so I think I'm going to do like a multi-part series here where I'm going to, reintroduce him correctly for what he is. And so I don't know if it's going to be an official podcast episode or a part of our Pardon the Interruption. But yeah, like the thumbnail says, one of these things is different from the others. One of these things doesn't belong. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up my, where is it? Bring up my what is that style I like? This style is better. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, the answer is this motherfucker right here. I don't know who the hell, like, why? Jesus is not white. This is bullshit, okay? Jesus did not have long, blonde, flowing hair and blue eyes. Aryan or European or whatever kind of people that are blonde hair and blue eyes, I want to say, 2,000 years ago. I mean, I think the Romans used to call them like pigs, pink skin savages or something like that. And that's not me. I'm just saying that, like, the people who ended up having this phenotype were not, they were just not the people of ancient, great nations, empires. They just were not that. So I'm gonna shoot them some bail here, right? So the reason why this is the Jesus that most of us know, it's because every culture recasts Jesus in their own image. And so when Europeans, when the gospel spread to them, they drew Jesus in their image. And to be honest, every nation, every culture, when they depict Jesus, they do depict him, looking like them. So I'll shoot them that bail. But yes, this is the answer. This is the picture that did not belong. So what we have here, this is, basically there was this discovery, I want to say in the early 20th century. Maybe I need to share my screen. There was a discovery, let's see if we can do that. This town called Euriopean. And on the map, there it is. This is Euriopean. It's pretty much, it's on the Euphrates. It's eastern Syria. You see Israel down here. But it was this very unique town. It's called Dura Europos because it was sandwiched directly in between the Roman Empire, which ended about here, this side of the Euphrates, and then the Persian Empire, which was on this side of the Euphrates. So it was this very special little kind of town where, because of the convergence of all these different religions, uh, they they had a lot of tolerance for religions, and it turns out, and this is how God worked. I'm sure he anticipated there would be some peoples claiming to be Jews and claiming to be the true children of Israel. So he had this synagogue buried underneath earth, which actually ended up preserving these murals. And this is actually, this photo right here is the earliest depicted photo of an ancient Israelite. This is a depiction of Moses. This dates back to about 244 BC, 244 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. So it's about 200 years after the Lord ascended into heaven to sit at the right hand of the Father. That's where these paintings date back. Now you have to keep in mind that the children of Israel, they took the second commandment about not having any image, any graven image. They took that so seriously that they did not paint. That's why you don't find any like paintings of biblical figures. They treated that as something that was forbidden, unlawful to do. But after Christ has rose, there was also a Christian church in this town. It was very, as I mentioned, very tolerant of religion. So there were Christian churches here, and there was this Jewish synagogue there as well. And so it's so fascinating because this, they actually, bucked all of the millennia of tradition and said, no, we're going to depict the Bible and we're going to depict our biblical figures. And this is how they depicted Moses. And you'll notice he has curly hair, kind of tannish, brownish, olivish skin, that very, typical Jewish profile in terms of the face, the longer type of nose. So yeah, it's just fascinating when you get to see them, when they finally had the courage to go ahead and depict their figures, their forefathers. This is the earliest known depiction. Now, the Christian church in Dura Europos, they depicted Christ, but it was like stick figure drawings. I didn't even bother putting in the slide. You can Google it. It's not like an actual painting like this, and it's similar. Basically, we know that they had short hair. Yeah, because keep in mind, when it comes to Israel, the only men who were to have long hair were Nazarenes. Wait, Nazarites. Remember, I almost said Solomon. What's his name? The strong dude. You can tell it's late. I just said I'm gonna go ahead and get this shot because I'm tired and I know I won't be able to upload for like another week and a half. I don't want that much time to go by, so I wasn't sleepy, so I said, let me go ahead and get this done. So I apologize, I'm a little foggy brain. Strong man who, Samson. Oh, what's up? Samantha P. Sheltering. Thank you, Samantha. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Samson was a Nazarite. And so, the rule was you cannot cut your hair. And so we know that they cut their hair because the only person who would do that would be a Nazarite. And of course, Nazarites don't drink alcohol, and Jesus drank alcohol often. That was one of his haters. That's what they would say. He's always hanging out, with, wine drinkers and drinking wine with these tax collectors, right? So we know Jesus had not taken like the Nazarite vow. And so Jesus had short hair. And they had a lot of the depiction of him in the Christian church in Euriopean, he was clean shaven too. I don't know if I would, I don't know how true that is. This is still 200 years after him. But you can obviously tell, it was shorter, curly hair. And of course, they are people of color right now today. They have tannish, olivish, some of them brownish skin. So this is a wider shot of this fresco. And this is actually depicting Moses at the burning bush. So this, on the left-hand side of the tile there, you can see this tree. It's actually burning. And if you look down towards the left, you'll see two pairs of shoes, or a pair of shoes. A pair looks like kind of string sandals. It would be very difficult to shave often at that time. True. Especially with Jesus not being, what's it called? He didn't have a lot of money. He was always on the go. And then, working with his stepdad. And so he passed away, in stone masonry type work. Yes, I agree. So he probably had a beard. I mean, he probably did have a beard. That is true. But yeah, it's just weird because a lot of them are depicting the men of around that time as being clean shaven. I'm like, I don't think so. Yeah. But yeah, this is Moses with the burning bush. You can see this is a very, this is not a white man. Okay, not a white man at all. Now this is what up, bro? Ism, bro. He did have, well, I shouldn't say he did, but he likely had hair that, like we can see right here, he likely had hair that was curly. So yes, kind of like ours, Jews, right? Some Jews right now today have hair, just like ours. I have some pictures showing that. You can see that in the thumbnail. So yeah, I mean, it probably was curly. It probably was. But yes, this is what the BBC did. This is a conceptual kind of painting. As you can see, there's hair like ours. This one looks kind of creepy to me because it's like computer generated. They based it off an old skull that they found that dated back to about the 1st century. But this is to give you an idea of not necessarily that this is what Jesus looked like, but this is similar in terms of the men of that time. A man of that time likely looked like this, that olive skin, the dark features. They look Middle Eastern. Because they are. No dreads. Yeah, no dreads. Yeah, he ain't have dreads now. Yeah, no comb. No, they had combs. They had ways to do their hair. They had ways to do their hairism. I think so. I'm pretty sure they did. Now, this is another depiction from this church. And I mean, it's just extraordinary. Jews do not paint themselves, but they did it here. And this is Moses and his brother Aaron. And this is the parting of the Red Sea when they were led out of Egypt. If you look at the top, you'll see the two hands sticking out. Those hands are God, which is, you do not paint God. But you can see they only painted his hands. But as you can see, they all have color to them. These are people of color. They're just not black. Well, Jewish people are not white. Exactly. My husband has kinky, curly hair. There were combs even in Egyptian time. Exactly. they definitely had combs. They definitely could style their hair. Jewish people are not white, and some of them have curly, kinky hair. Exactly. But if you look at this likeness, so these are the children of Israel, right? They passed through the Red Sea. And if you look on the right, these are Pharaoh and the Egyptians who chased them, drowning over there. It's just fascinating, man. Just fascinating that the Lord preserved it so that there would be no deception. If you look closer on this face, if that is not a Jewish man, if that's not a Jewish man's face, I don't know what is not. The brother kind of looking a little. He ain't white because of the color of his skin, but what I like about this is depicting both curly hair and straight hair. If you look at the brother, I think that's Aaron. Aaron's hair does not look curly like Moses' hair. So I think I like the way they did that. They depicted that, they, even back then, some of them had curly hair, some of them had more straighter hair. They definitely had combs, yes, especially for, lice infestation that were hard to control then. To me, Jesus looked closer to Medusa. That is exactly what he looked. But I respect those that disagree. That's a nice thing to say. Sure, I can respect them that disagree. But it's just, they're disagreeing with the truth. Okay, like, this is the truth. I'm sure, there was some color to the skin, but it was just like it is in a lot of Jews right now today. Like, it wasn't white. This is another fascinating find from this store, Europos. This was a ceiling tile. And if that is not a Jew, now this is not even the olive skin colored Jewish. This is like Jewish Jew. This look like Ashkenazi. But again, you can clearly see that just like, and that's what kills me about black people who can't get this. We have the same thing. We're all these different shades. And as you can see right there, a very Jewish man face, Jewish man type features with that longish nose. And that one, even again, doesn't have the afro kind of curly hair. It's kind of a straight look right there. But yep, so it's preserved. You can't claim it. This is another illustration. They did this is an illustration of Samuel anointing David. And yet again, you'll see that, and these are all on one wall in this synagogue. So they intentionally painted themselves looking the they deliberately painted themselves looking different ways. You can see these look slightly different from the others. But yeah, this is Samuel anointing David. Those are his brothers. And as you can see, this is more the definitely olive skin, but you can see they all have froze. Maybe that one's not a fro. But you can see they all have that curly hair, they all have olive skin, they all have rather Jewish features, in my opinion. So that's also interesting. This is another illustration, and these are the oldest illustrations of biblical figures in terms of done by the actual Hebrews, the actual children of Israel, the actual Jews. So this right here, you can see the menorah right here in the middle. You can see looks like the temple down here at the bottom. You see froze. You see colored skin. You see very Jewish features, like on this priest here. I think they're saying that's Aaron. But yeah, again, so I love how, these finds, these are all from this one synagogue, buried under sand. Here we go, you have a nice little curly Jewfro, very Jewish features. They could not determine what this was depicting. It looked, I think it was like, they think it was either Ezra or Jeremiah that it was depicting, but you couldn't really tell. But I zoomed in on the face there and the features, because yet again, it's all lining up. They even depicted the golden calf when the children of Israel, revolted basically during the wilderness wanderings when Moses was getting the law. And again, you can see they depict themselves in all their different shades and varieties. Straight hair more now in these depictions. So they did not have any hang-ups about the fact that some of them had curly hair, some of them had straighter hair, some of them had lighter skin, some of them had darker skin. These are looking more fro-like to me and more brown. This is them carrying the Ark of the Covenant. I'm sure you can tell. And I think it's the Battle of Ebenezer, I want to say. And this is actually Moses, and now they're looking a lot more olive skin and straighter hair right here. Where this is Moses' mom. She puts him in the basket down there at the bottom. Pharaoh's daughter takes him out of the basket. And now on the right-hand side, these are the Egyptians. And if you go further over, they show Moses being raised up in Pharaoh's house. I hope I don't get dinged for that. Let me see. I often hear he was either white or black. I also hear olive means black. It does not mean black. Which it does not exactly. Olive is a Middle Eastern color, period. I think we agree on how here, period, yes. Olive is Middle Eastern. That's what it's about. That's what it's specifically describing. You don't describe anyone else outside of the Middle East as olive skin. Yes, exactly. It is not black. It's ridiculous. That's why I'm doing this show. Like, get out of here. You can see some close-ups here now of that Aaron. I think that's Aaron the priest. And man, this dude right here, this is that full picture of the more curly hair. You can clearly see these are not black people. These are not Africans. These are nothing like that. No. And so for me, this looks so much like David Schwimmer to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but again, a Jew. Very Jewish features. I hope y'all can see that as well. This one, I think they're similar. I mean, he's a little lighter than the photo, but he's not, out in Egypt, in the Egyptian sun all day, raised up in the Egyptian household. If he were, I think he'd be close to the complexion there. But I think the features there resemble. And this is just a map of, because, in America, we are just so, especially, I'm going to keep it above, in Black America, we are very simplistic when it comes to the Jews. There are all kinds of groups of Jews. Some of the major ones, of course, Ashkenazi, coming from, it says Germanic Jews. It's really more like Europe. Sephardic, of course, came from Spain and I think Portugal. Mizrahi are the more Arab, like Jews. Is all the kind of groups. They got Beta Israel down there, which is the black tribe in Ethiopia. So yeah, there's all kinds of Jews. I love the way in these photos that they depict that. So here, I'm sure in this space, a lot of us have seen Deuce Bigalow, male gigolo, and the actor who played that gigolo. This is a 100% Ashkenazi Jew. 100%. As you can see, the skin has color to it. It's not black. But he is 100% Ashkenazi Jew. This is another actor that came up when I was looking for him. I don't know what his full background is, but he's Israeli. He is actually Israeli, kind of like Gal Gadot is. This is the founder of Yelp, I think. I can't remember. 100% Ashkenazi Jew. You can see the color. It's olive skin. Curly hair. It's a looser curl. Curly hair. Jeff Goldblum, of course. I want to say Jeff Goldblum is Ashkenazi as well. Olive skin, dark features. When I saw this photo, I died. This is Larry David when he was young, and I'm just looking at the edges. It's like Larry David, bro. Let it go, bro. I'm glad he went ahead and shaved that, cause dude, your edges is not laid. But what I love about this picture is my bad. Yeah, right. That was it, right? Oh, some of those Israeli. Oh my God, beautiful, 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 and especially what I love about them is their hair, man. Israeli women hair. Oh man, I'm just, if I see thick, dark, long hair, whoo, yes, they are beautiful. But yeah, this is Larry David with his Jufro, rocking his Jufro. They have curly hair just because it's Afro or woolly, or like some people like to claim, they have woolly, curly hair as well. And he is not even, Larry David barely got any color to his skin. So, yeah, they still have that. Now, actually, Drake's mother is Jewish. And guess what that means? If your mother is Jewish, you are Jewish. And of course, Drake does not shy away from the fact that he's Jewish. He even had he was even bar mitzvah. But of course, he is mixed. He's not, full-blooded Jewish, but technically, if your mom is Jewish, you are Jewish. And so you can even see in Drake's features, those Jewish features. I can see them. This is plain as day. So yeah, what did Jesus look like? One of these things is different from the others. One of these things doesn't belong. This in the top left-hand corner, this blonde hair, blue eye, does not belong. Everyone else on here is Jewish, or at least it's based on Jewish when it comes to that, a Jew's features when it comes to that computer-generated one. Yeah. So yeah, that is how Jesus looked like, something in between all of this, except take out Drake because Drake's mixed. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're mixed with other things probably here and there too, but yeah. So at least that much. So yeah, this one is wrong, and this one is right, kinda, in terms of the skin, in terms of those Jewish features. But the hair was not long. And so this one is a fascinating rendering by this artist of what Jesus would have looked like. And I think it is very interesting. I think it's a striking image, and it's definitely very Jewish, and also it has the skin right. So just interesting, very interesting. But it's definitely something more along like that. To be honest, I don't think Jesus was. I don't think Jesus was attractive. I don't think that because it's. I think it just would have caused problems. It can cause problems to you if you're, attractive. Not that he couldn't have handled it. He could have been attractive, but I don't think Jesus was attractive. I have a teacher that laid out his case for why he doesn't believe Jesus was attractive either. And I believed him. So I'll look into that before I present it to y'all. But if he, he may have looked like this, generally attractive. Some people believe that he wasn't anything to look on. They reference a psalm to back that up. But whatever the case, it's more like this, either the left or the right. And so, yeah, I want to clear that up. The next episode or entry that I'll be clearing up, I'll be getting more into what Jesus was like. So many people paint him as like he was like this like soft guy. It's like, no, just read the scriptures, okay? Number one, he was a nationalist. He was all about his nation, Israel, okay? And there was no compromising when it came to that. Yes, he was all about saving all of us Gentiles as well, but he was definitely nationalist. He would have been a Zionist, okay? He was a holy man. He was able to teach rabbis when he was 12 years old. He was, they called it a carpenter. in Israel, especially in Nazareth, it would have been more like stone masonry, like building these stone homes that they lived in. Hard, hard work. And of course, he was Jewish. Okay, in the Bible, in the Gospel of John, what we're going to go to after we get through all of these, dispelling all these myths, Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. I bet a lot of y'all didn't know that. Yeah, in the Gospel of John, Jesus goes to celebrate Hanukkah. He was a thorough Jew, okay? I can understand in order to have the religion accepted more easily, it makes sense. People may have depicted him lighter. Yeah, the only one I haven't seen was the red, the ginger. Wait 10 minutes, it'll show up. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying too, Samantha. I agree. You know, I said at the beginning, you know, I get it, but it does come to a point where it's like, dude, you got to depict it right, you know, because, you know, it's just not right. Because there are a lot of people who are Christians who are anti-Semitic. And they don't understand. It's like, no, you can't be anti-Semitic because the one you believe in is Jewish. And I think it's these types of depictions that allow stuff like that to happen, because, you know, if you're thinking that he looks like this, instead of this, you know, then, you know, you're more susceptible, you know, to believe in that type of mess. But that's why I do this. And thank you so much for coming through, Samantha, and thank you too for coming through, Ism. I appreciate y'all. That's it. This is a quick show. I was exhausted, but I wanted to get this done before I have a busy week at work. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, if no one in the world loves you, Jesus loves you. Y'all have a good night.